everyone. Happy what is today? This Labor Day kind of threw me off. Happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Thank you. Trust everyone's having a great week. I am so excited to dive in with this. Thank you for showing up and pouring into yourself. And let's learn about 4 ways to develop your administrative team as a profit center. Just for a show, we did this on our last webinar, just for a show of our audience who's here. Can you use the chat box and give me perspective? What's your role? I just want to see, what is your role in the operations and the sales department? Sometimes we have agents, CEOs, BOOs, listing managers. All right, look at this participation, Graham. All sorts. Fantastic. We even have some market center in the house. I like that. Market center administrative roles in the house. Awesome. All right, so without further ado, let's just dive right in. The 4 ways to develop your administrative team as a profit center. Now, we're going to have a little fun with this first. Here's a trick question for you. Why would a seller sell right now when their interest rate is locked at 2.5% or 3%? Now, I don't care what role you are. If you are doing production, whether you're taking on files or you're representing sellers or if you're a listing manager, you hear this objection, as we call it. Now, fact of the matter is, mindset is one of the big ways to make your market center, your team a profit center. Mindset is a huge thing. And this is a huge objection we're hearing right now when we're prospecting and talking to people and asking them if they're ready to sell their home. We're hearing, I don't need to lock in right now, or I'm locked in at 2.5%, 3%. The interest rates don't make sense to me. If I were to turn around and buy it, doesn't make sense. Well, I'm going to give you the answer. So you can take this no matter what your role is. And when you hear an agent talking about this next time, let's tell them why. We call this the 6 Ds of real estate: death, divorce, diplomas, diapers, and diamonds. Who doesn't like those? Y'all get getting the humor here? Last but not least, the job. Now, those are the 6 Ds of why people sell in any market, y'all. The MLS does not go down to zero. Does not go down to zero. So fact of the matter is there's always going to be a reason for the seller to sell. And it's usually something along those lines. So does our operation have enough, let's say, bandwidth to ensure that we are staying in front of these people? We're going to talk about the people that absolutely have to sell. Absolutely have to sell. So I trust you caught some humor in that. And fact of the matter is people have to sell all the time, just like people have to buy. So if we're relocating, people get married, they're downsizing, they're empty nesters, they're making lateral moves. Just a little mindset perspective for you. Thought we could have some fun with that. So, Ice, if you want to go ahead and respond to that chat, that'd be fantastic. So let's talk shop. First thing on how to make your team, your administrative team, a profit center. Oh my goodness, words. Rule number 1, taking full responsibility of your database. Now, what does that mean? Well, there's this fabulous book. It's red in color. Gary Keller wrote it with his masterminds, called the MREA. And yes, it is still relevant. There are some rules in here. So you as in operations, and a lot of y'all, you need to know what the rules of the database are. We build it, we feed it every day, we communicate it with it systematically, and we service every lead that comes your way. Now, some people have read this before and asked, Nicole, well, we're on the operations side, we're not on the sales side. Oh, so there's not divisions, there's departments in the real estate team. So if you are an administrative minded person, you probably like organization and the cadence and things to run effectively and efficiently. And if you do not have your hands on the database, or at least systems that cause these things to happen, the feeding, the nurturing, the communicating, the systematized, staying in front of it, well, I don't believe that that is an agent's responsibility to take care of. So wherever you are in that, I want you to think about that and maybe see where we can better improve. So it's like very simple. There's legit math to this on how to build a millionaire real estate database. You want to increase it by a minimum of three per day. So whether that's your agent doing open houses, them bringing in the leads, CRMs, pay-per-click, or whatever we want to call it, SEOs, like 3 METs, I would like to call them, should be coming in on a daily basis. You want to structure and organize the database. So agent, team, sphere of influence, client for life, i.e. tags. Those are called tags. And know what percentage is coming from repeat referral business, which we're going to talk about that too. So when you have that all in place, the next piece is the client experience. So if you're an agent or rainmaker, we want to teach, you need to teach your team how to think and act and care like you do. So when our systems and processes come into play, and whether we're onboarding a file for contract to close or we're taking a new listing, and now we're responsible to coordinate all the signs and the lock boxes, do our systems, are they scaled in a way the same way that what your rainmaker would expect? Or if you're the rainmaker, an agent, is your team thinking about it this way? And if the answer is no, well, what do we need to do to change that? Because our systems and processes are a reflection of our values, and our values are a reflection of the mission and vision. Food for thought there. When it comes to the client experience, this is the simple how. We're operations minds. We like the how. You can do this through 36 touch, monthly videos, quarterly appreciation events. And here's a list of some things you can do. Shred parties. I see this every April. Even my church does this down the road. Thanksgiving pie events, pictures with Santa, Easter egg hunts, wine tastings, recognizing for your clients' birthdays, offering complimentary CMAs or home valuations. How many of y'all, I like this to be participatory, just yes or no. How many of y'all already have your 2024 events planned out? Not a trick question. All right, we have an overachiever in the house. Great job, Kimberly. Great job. So starting to plan, this is the time of year. You're going to start seeing in the market centers, business planning clinics, time to reset GPSs, etc. And bottom line, you, as far as operations is concerned, you definitely need to be responsible for spearheading it and at least drawing up a draft so that your rainmaker can approve it. Give them something to poke holes into, is what I like to say. So you don't ever want to walk into the room. I can't be the only person on this Zoom conference with how many of us are on here. It can't be the only person in here that has walked into, oh my gosh, we haven't had a client event in at all this year. Let's go do one next weekend. Catch my humor, folks. Been in this business for 20 plus years. We've seen it all. So, and I've coached to it. So let's hear what Lauren has to say. Some events that, we duplicate our cookies with Santa and Halloween bowling. Heck yeah, rinse and repeat. You want your clients to expect the Easter bunny jumping out of a helicopter or the Thanksgiving Day pie giveaway. You want them to have that expectation. That's how you build the stickiness in your community. So this isn't even just about getting a rainmaker to get their operations team to be an extension of them. We're giving you the systematized processes of how to do this. So I like that. I love what you said. Apple picking. How fun is that, Amy? I'd love to find out about that. All right. Now, the third way is to get licensed. How many of y'all are in an administrative role on the Zoom and have your real estate license at the same time? I want to see. Good answer. There's a lot of y'all. And if you haven't, let's talk about that. All right, taking classes. It does take a minute. So I'm not, if you really do have the desire to get licensed, it could be a 6 month goal, a year goal. Like just set it and chunk it down because guess what? We all have JOBs in the middle of the day. And so sometimes we have to take them on the weekends or at night. It's really when you have an important role in the real estate business, especially in a shifting market like we're in, not easy to just take 2 weeks off and it not be a vacation. So, with that being said, let's talk about getting licensed. It allows you to generate additional streams of income. Any idea of what that means? About to talk about it. It keeps the company that protected. You sure as heck don't want to be responsible for saying something that you didn't know that you had to have a license on, or for, rather. It gives a deeper level of understanding of our industry. Oh my goodness, I was just doing my CE credits the other day and I'm like, wow, there were some things I forgot. And of course, I love the compliance and the law stuff, although I'm not an attorney. So with that being said, getting licensed is a great way to get return on investment and turn this into a profit center. So how many of you are administrators that are licensed and have your Met database or your sphere of influence in your team's database, plugging away on the system that you probably built? Yay, Katie. Okay, food for thought. We have proof it can be possible. So depending upon where you live, K-Score is a great way to get your license. And oh, by the way, it's free. What is K-Score? So it's Keller Williams School of Real Estate. There's a link down there you can go to. It's in most states in the United States, not every state, most states. And it is a great way to get licensed for free. Keeping your company protected, getting a deeper level of our industry, and it allows you to generate additional streams of income because you are the empire protector and you have a huge role in this or in your organization. In a perfect operations team, we teach our transaction coordinators, our listing managers, you are the CEO of the file. And so we couldn't do what we do without you. Our sales team can't do what they do without you, and you can't do what you do without them and having production, right? So we really want to make sure that all parties are protected and everybody's doing the best they can, given the resources that they have. And guess what? We're here at Keller Williams and have tons of resources. Free real estate school, for crying out loud. There you go. All right. So let's talk about ROI on our ops team. So we have the saying that the moment we don't ever want to treat an expense of the human being, if you will, a salary, as an expense. I want to teach you how to turn into an asset. Now, what's an asset? Well, it's something that feeds you. It feeds you income. When we're talking about, I'm going to go Rich Dad Poor Dad for all of you who haven't read Robert Kiyosaki or MREI. So an asset is something that feeds you or generates income for you. A liability costs you money. So y'all are I trust, doing a great job at what you do. You probably want to know whether you're winning or losing, and that's what we're going to teach you. And bottom line is you are an asset, and if you don't feel that way right now, you absolutely have the potential to become one. So with that said, let's talk about this. How do we become an asset, not a liability, or how do we make our salary not an expense as much as it is an investment? Reviews. Let's talk about that, reviews and referrals. So reviews measure the overall client experience. Now, if we're not getting reviews, and I'm going to use Google, for example, your Google business page. If we don't have a Google business page that's set up and we're not getting 5-star reviews that attract to that or that reflect on that, we're missing out on a huge opportunity. The way that the algorithms work and the marketplace works, that helps drive revenue and organic traffic to your websites. Huge opportunity there. Reviews they also do the heavy lifting for the client experience that's being delivered. And they are the lag measure, as I like to call it, of an extraordinary client experience. So if our system is not set up to, whether we're onboarding the file or passing the listing to the pending department or et cetera. We're not strategically and specifically asking for reviews, and I will touch on referrals here in a minute. If we're not asking for that, we're missing out on a huge opportunity to contribute to revenue and production for our teams. So why do people not ask for reviews? I don't know. Think about it. So if I were to ask you right now, hey, are you are you asking, you're actually, let's play a game. You're required to ask for reviews at the end of the transaction. What would you say? Whatever you're thinking, well, I don't know this and I don't know that, and we don't do this and we don't. Those are opportunities, whatever your thoughts are right now when I ask you that question, those are opportunities for you to better improve your system, the system that you currently have. And so this is about, remember, becoming an investment or an asset and not having your salary or your hourly pay looked at as an expense. You would contribute to production that way. So the other piece is referrals. So when you are licensed, reviews and referrals, we teach you how to ask for, who else do you know thinking of buying or selling that we can send a pie to? Remember those other slides based on the 36 touch? You want to, there are key points in the transaction, the contract to close process, and the listing management process that we could strategically start asking, and by tying to those client events that we talked about earlier. When I had asked, hey, who already has 2024 built out? And we had our overachiever raise her hand. Guess what? We already know when we're going to be having our client events. So the quarter before that, we could now pick up the file when we onboard and let our clients know, hey, we have an upcoming, pie giveaway. Yes, it is September. And for many of us that I live in Texas, it still feels like summer. It's like 147 here today. So you can tie those strategically to the ask. And Lauren, she says 3 to 4 times throughout the transaction, we have a link of the agent shoot over at any time, especially at a positive moment. What are those positive moments? Well, we need to teach you those. So if you're really interested on how to go deep and want the actual system, written system on how to do this, the GPS and the 411 that ties to it, we have the Perfect Operations team that launches in October. And it's a live interactive Zoom call in a group setting like this, where I get to coach you. And we have homework every week. And we share our resource library. We share the systems that we build out together. It's an incredible community. Who should attend? Rainmakers, buyers agents, and all administrative staff. If you really do want to don't get caught up on the title. If you really do want to have a better understanding of this course shows you. It is a 6-month course where you get coaching on a weekly basis with us, 3 times a month. And we show you how to turn your operations team into a true investment and a profit center. So by the end of it, you will receive, and you can use the QR code here, 18 one-hour calls, and you walk away with a 400 plus policy and procedure manual for your hub. If you already have a 400-page or 500-page policy and procedure manual, awesome. Still join us. Bottom line, you can go through and audit it. I don't know about you, but our market has changed a couple of different times in the last 3 years. The investment of this, remember, investment, we want ROI, is $199 a month. And you can sign up by clicking the link that's in the chat box for the Perfect Operations team. And today we have a promotion. If you sign up today, type in Web 100 and we'll give you $100 off our first month. So with that being said, who has questions? Let's talk about operations team being a profit center. Any questions, thoughts, comments? You can use the chat box or unmute yourself now. Oh, Katie, you're so sweet. Our former Teapot alum. Love that. Okay, and you said, do you have a process on how to get your team started with planning, business planning? Yeah, so many of you, my suggestion is go to your market center. Many of you, I know that regions are going to start launching the business planning clinics in the next month or so. So I would definitely shoot a message to your TL or MCA and find out if there's one coming in. And I'm going to give a little tip here. So I don't want to go into the weeds, but I do want to give perspective. When I said earlier, operations teams, we want to know whether we're winning or losing in the role. So I believe it's best practice to have a team GPS that's based off of leads, listings, and leverage. Try that on for size just for fun and just keep working through it until you get it right. Then each one of those departments from sales to operations has their own GPS that's based off of those things. And unmute yourself or use a chat box. What's the first L in the 3 L's in MREA? What's the first L? Anybody know? There you go, Katie. Leads. So if leads is the first L, so it's leads, listings, and leverage. If leads are the first L, leads cause listings to come in. Listings are a form of leverage. Listings also help pay for leverage. At the end of the day, though, you can't have the leverage, the listings without the lead. Now, from an operations perspective, what are you responsible for when it comes to leads? Remember that system we talked about? The 36 touch, the client experience, the client events, and you're asking for reviews and referrals, that generates leads. And it's best practice to be licensed while you're doing that. So what about you having your personal Met database and your sphere of influence into the 36 touch? I'm not asking you to sit in a cubicle and circle dial all day. I'm asking you, put your data in there, let your data run, get licensed, and then who knows, maybe you can get some referral income from it. I want you to think differently about these roles in a real estate operation. They're no joke. They're not some paper pushing role. I get super passionate about this. For those, I'm so proud of our KW operations community members in here. Y'all are stepping up and showing up as well. It's a huge opportunity to have a career in this. This industry is incredibly amazing. Yes, it's not easy today. And you know what? There are unintended consequences in every shift. Your competitors aren't in this room getting to to educate themselves so that they can be stronger through the client experience. What operation do you know is a huge part of the team's production? Let's teach you how to do that. All right, you get me on my soapbox. I can't help myself. My favorite thing ever. I want to help continue to trailblaze for y'all. I've served every role in a real estate operations, from production to sales to listing management, transaction coordinator, director of ops, you name it, I've done it. And you can't do one side without the other. Questions, thoughts, comments? So excited everyone stayed on the Zoom. Y'all didn't run away. I don't know, maybe the people that are their videos off, they're not even there. I'm just kidding. All right, well, I'll hang out for a couple more seconds. Otherwise, y'all have stay safe and healthy and cool out there, depending upon where you are in the country. It was a pleasure spending this last half hour with you. And if you need anything, you could email there. You can email me too directly, mrscoach@zubergroup.com. And I'm really excited. I trust that some of y'all will come and join us. Take care. Bye.